Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to National Apprenticeship Week 2022. I'm really delighted to be joining all of you for what's set to be a really fantastic week, celebrating all things apprenticeships from our amazing apprentices, some of who you will hopefully hear from today, and their fantastic employers. The theme for this week is Build the Future, and this is really allowing us to reflect on how apprenticeships can help individuals to develop the skills required for a rewarding career and businesses to develop a talented workforce that's really equipped with future-ready skills. To that end, the BPIF and BPIF Training will be hosting daily webinars aimed at supporting all of those involved in apprenticeships, from parents and carers who are looking to support decision making, to employers looking to build their workforce, and young people looking to take that first step in their career. We'll be hosting daily webinars this week, the first one today, and thank you for attending. So today we'll be looking at the careers that are available in our fantastic industry. Tomorrow you'll hear from Max Walkington, our Head of Data and Compliance, who will discuss apprenticeship funding and how to maximise the funding support available to you. He'll guide you through the funding opportunities to support you with all of your apprenticeship provision needs. On Wednesday, Charles Jarrold, hosting Print Week, will look at a journey in print. This is really aimed at everybody. You'll get an insight on how the print industry has changed through the generations and the value that you can gain from the years of experience that mentors in the industry have. On Thursday, Aramada, our business engagement manager, will be looking at apprenticeship recruitment and vacancies. So again, aimed at all. The webinar will really give you an insight and the tools to ensure that your apprenticeship vacancy attracts highly motivated candidates, as well as ensuring that you as a young person are positioning yourself in the best way to get that job. And then finally on Friday, I'll be back to do an apprenticeship wrap-up. So I'll be reflecting on each day of National Apprenticeship Week, giving a summary of some of the key conversations that we've had, as well as highlighting some of the plans for BPIF training in the coming year. We hope that you'll be able to attend a number of the events. So for today, we are looking at careers in print, so apprenticeships and lifelong learning. What a career in print can bring to you. Just to kick off the session, any questions, please do ask as we go along. If you pop the question in the chat, then I will take a look, I'll be notified and make sure to ask the questions. So here goes. I thought what would be useful to start with is give an overview on what is the print industry and what makes our industry so thriving and progressive. So the print industry, the 5th largest print producer in the world in the UK, 5th largest actually behind the USA, China, Japan and Germany, with a turnover of about £14 billion per annum. The industry itself employs over 112,000 staff across the UK, and the combined wage bill is about £3.3 billion. Great deal of money. But actually, what is print? If we look at the definition of print, print is that mechanical process which involves transfer or the transfer of text and design. It's an indentation or a mark on a surface or a soft substrate. The action or process of making physical objects from a three-dimensional digital model, typically laying down many thin layers of material in succession. But more recently, we've introduced 3D and 4D print into our world. So 3D printing, or what's called additive manufacturing. So this is generating shapes that are impossible to make in any other way, so objects within objects. If we look at 3D printing, we include things like prosthetic limbs, musical instruments, even equipment used in the military can be 3D printed. Moving on from that, 4D printing. So 4D printing involves 3D printed objects that can move or adapt under certain environmental conditions. So for example, a temperature activated cardio stent used in surgery, or an airplane wing that could transform at wind speed. So some really exciting things going on in our industry. Print really is everywhere. It's impossible to imagine that world without print. It's all around us and plays a real vital role in our daily lives. If we look what we can print on, this is what's called a substrate. Substrates, as you look at the image there, could include many things. It could be paper, whether that's recycled, carbonless, matte coated, glass coated, self-adhesive, gummed. It could be boards, it could be coated board, unlined, chipboard, pulp, mead board, plenty of it. It could be foils or filmic materials such as plastics, or other materials such as cloth. So as I say, print is really all around us, but have we ever thought about where it's created or how it's created? Have we ever wondered where billboards or hoardings come from? Or thought about what industry virtually produces all the custom-made hearing aids? Or how newspapers are printed? Or even where money comes from? Looking at money, if we look at a typical banknote, it's made up of a polymer with multiple security features, holograms, woven foil. It's printed then with up to 20 colours. It's got high bill features added. It will have UV readable features and serial numbers, a process that takes around 8 weeks from start to finish. Quite a technical process. So with such technical processes, a career in print will really see you learning new skills that will last you a lifetime. So what are some of them careers? We'll take a look at them now. Firstly, if we look at pre-press. So pre-press is what goes on before the bits get printed. So the bit before we do the actual printing. So working in pre-press, you'll look at creating the digital artwork for print. You'll handle digital files. You'll work with digital images at various stages, including the preparation of designs, including preparing a copy for text, including text setting and proofing, reading and correcting, page makeups, illustrations, imposition. And what I mean by imposition is just the action of imposing something or applying something. Also image carriers, so the material which carries an image for transfer onto that substrate. So that first part, that design, that artwork, that preparation for print, a really valuable career. Then moving on to printing, so the actual press itself. So once the pre-press operator has created the product, the printer obviously needs to print it. So the printing could be on one of the many substrates that I mentioned earlier. So it could be paper, board, textiles, glass, plastic, film, metallic foils, mirrors, lots of things. And if we look at printing, or certainly the press, there's so many different processes involved. And quite often as a printer or a press technician or a press operative, you'll tend to specialise in one of these areas. So, for example, we have lithographic printing, we have gravure printing, we have flexographic printing, screen printing, digital printing. Now, this might not mean a lot to many, so just looking at that in isolation, what are these processes and what do they mean? So if we take flexographic printing, this is where the relief image uses ink release from cells in what's called an analox roller to transfer that ink to the plate, to the substrate. And quite often flexographic printing is used for food packaging, for labels, for wall coverings, newspapers. We look at gravure printing, or something that's called, interlago printing. So this is looking at transferring ink from an engraved cylinder to a substrate. Printing for magazines, packaging, security printing, catalogues, cigarette papers, then real long runs and repeat work. Screen printing or the stencil process, the transfer of ink by pushing through a photographed mesh onto the substrate. So this is for non-standard shapes, things like clothing, large format, rigid displays, signage, anything really requiring quite a thick ink film. Lithographic printing. So lithographic printing uses a chemical reaction of ink and water to transfer image from a printing plate onto that substrate. So things like magazines, brochures, leaflets, packaging, stationery, point of sale, business cards, drinks cans, virtually anything really. Then we go on to digital printing. So this uses electronic data from a computer system and it outputs it directly to reproduction system, which can range from a simple desktop printer, which we'll all have in our offices or home offices, and to large directly imaged printing presses. So things like personalised leaflets, personalised printing, business cards, banners, car wrap labels, but that's short run work. Now finally we have pad or tempo printing. So this uses metal or a plastic photo engraved plate called a cliche to transfer the image to an intermediate silicone rubber and then onto the substrate with the ink applied to the plate after each impression, and is used primarily to print on irregular shapes, so souvenirs, golf balls, footballs, mugs, satellite dishes, basketballs, any sort of irregular shaped object. So when we look at the press or the printing operator, the printing technician, specialising in one of these areas, quite often actually having experience of many of the areas, a real technical process with skills that you'll learn to take with you for your career. So what happens once it's been printed? So we have the print finisher. Once the materials have been printed, they'll need converting to that final product. You'll be operating a computerised guillotine, potentially, for cutting work, a folding machine, perhaps, to fold paper into sections, or creating that hardback, the hardback on books. So operations that are included in print finishing include cutting, folding, perfect binding, saddle stitching. So saddle stitching where in book binding, you have folded sheets gathered together, one inside another. You've got combo binding. We have collating as a finishing process, laminating or encapsulation, so improving something's strength. We have hole punching or drilling, slitting, cutting, numbering, a lot of these processes, as well as decoration, for example, gold blocking. So gold blocking would be where you potentially have a book or a leather back book and you stamp it with that engraved block. So again, some quite technical processes involved in the print finishing route. If we look at specific printing, other careers in print are things like a signage technician. So as a signage technician, you'll be responsible for the design, the manufacture, the fabrication and installation of signage. You'll review customer briefs and undertake site surveys. You'll organise signage, you'll organise signage work activities, ensuring machinery, tools, equipment are available and resolve any issues. You'll prepare signage illustrations, costings, quotes. You'll design signage using CAD design, so computer-aided design. Prepare prefab files, manufacture signs, perform finishing operations like we discussed previously. So some quite specific printing routes that are available within the industry as well. We have digital marketing as a career route. So working in digital marketing, you'll use online social media to design, build and implement actually campaigns that drive your customers' sales. So you'll learn things such as search engine optimization, PPC, which is pay-per-click. You'll look at social media marketing, you'll look at content marketing, email marketing, mobile marketing. You look at marketing analytics, so the process of managing and studying metrics in order to determine that return on investment if the campaign is working. Excuse me. Most printers will have a digital marketing department that focuses on ensuring that the product is marketed in the correct way. So lots of careers that are specifically for the print industry or specific to print, but also within our industry, it's more than that. It's more than just print. There's lots of other roles and lots of other apprenticeship roles that we have within our industry. So within print businesses, there'll be lean manufacturing opportunities. So lean manufacturing, so carrying out the manufacturing activities on multiple products with different specifications. So lean aims to eliminate waste, it aims to optimize processes, cut costs, boost innovation. So on many production lines, there will be an element of lean involved in that. There'll be process leaders. So for all of these processes, whether that's pre-press, press, post-press, signage, all of these things, you'll need somebody leading and directing that process, so process leaders. There'll be customer service representatives in the industry, so all printers, even online companies, will have teams of customer service staff providing the link between the website and the client. Could even be a starting point for a sales role. There'll be business administrators, so people who support and engage with different parts of the organisation and interact with the external and internal stakeholders and customers. There'll be a marketing team, so we talked earlier about digital marketing, but wider marketing teams, so marketing executive roles, which will help and shape and support and deliver the marketing plans for the business, working in conjunction with the marketing manager who will define the overall strategy. There'll be accounts and finance positions within the business, so maintaining that efficient and accurate finance function and supporting that. And then finally, leadership roles. There's many leadership roles within a print business. So team leaders or supervisors, that first line management role with the operational project management responsibilities, responsible for managing teams to deliver outcomes. They will provide direction, instruction, guidance to ensure the achievement of them goals. That first line management role. There'll be operations or department managers, so someone who manages the teams and projects, accountable to more senior managers or the business owners. Coming on to the senior leader, so someone who's involved in setting, managing and monitoring the achievement of the core objectives that align to the overall business strategy. So quite often the board or equivalent. Excuse me. So within the industry, we do have many fantastic technical roles, but it is more than that. We do have the supporting roles, we do have the managerial roles, and it's a really exciting time for apprenticeships, because any of the roles that we've talked about up to now, an apprenticeship can fill that gap. So why an apprenticeship? Apprenticeships, many benefits. You earn while you learn. So compared to a typical degree with fees of up to £9,250 per year, and remember, a degree is quite often 3, 4, 5 years, an apprenticeship is free to undertake to the apprentice with the added value of a salary. So an average entry-level apprenticeship salary is about £16,000 per annum, rising to about 32, let's call it 33, for a more experienced worker. As an apprentice, you get practical and relevant work experience. The majority of time will be spent in the workplace, with 1 or 2 days a week spent in training. For some apprenticeships, this training takes place at a college or a university or off-site, and for others, it happens in the workplace itself. You get to learn from those in the know. You have access to great support when you train. This is from either working alongside experienced people in your workplace, but also from specialist training coordinators who are really there to help you gain the skills and knowledge you need to succeed. You've got boosted career prospects. You'll gain invaluable experience and develop the skills that employers really want within their industry. You'll learn transferable skills. Apprentices do real jobs in real work environments. They gain the softer skills that help them throughout the career to make them more confident, so teamwork, communication, problem solving. And also, we'd like to think that apprentices enjoy what they do. As with many workplaces, you get to meet different people, make new friends, and become part of that workplace culture. There's also some incentivised, should I call it, apprenticeship benefits. So as an apprentice, you get your student card, so your NUS Apprenticeship Extra card, giving you discounts to hundreds of high street and online brands. So that student discount. Everyone talks about university having their student discount. We get that as apprentices as well. In some cases, you'll be eligible for council tax reductions. So if you're an apprenticeship earning less than £195 a week, you might be counted towards discounts or be eligible for discounts on council tax. Also travel discounts. So this ranges from national rail cards to regional discounts on rail to the apprenticeship Oyster card, which gives you 30% off travel in London, which is quite a saving. So what do BPIF offer in terms of apprenticeships? So I mentioned earlier, we do offer all of the apprenticeships specific to the roles that we talked about. So we offer our print operative at level 2, and if you take the print operative, you will either specialise in pre-press, press or post-press. This is part of the engineering and manufacturing route with a typical duration of about 2 years. And the progression route there is the level 3 print technician, which we obviously also deliver. So at level 3, that programme is about 36 months typically. And from there, there's the ability to progress on to process leader potentially. The signage technician, a 2-year programme, so typical roles within the signage technician apprenticeship would be a graphic sign maker, a graphics installer, large format printer, sign designer, installation technician, a lot of roles that encompass the signage technician standard at level 3. Again, that progression route could be up towards a process leader. We have our lean manufacturing operative at level 2. So roles such as production op, assembly operative, inspection quality assurance operative. So at 12 months at level 2, lean manufacturing can then quickly progress either into print technician, even process leader. Lots of progression opportunities. Process leader itself, level 4 apprenticeship within the engineering and manufacturing route 2 years. You will be in a role such as a process lead manager, a production manager, process leader, production lead, section lead. And again, there's progression opportunities from there to a more academic, I would call, apprenticeships, such as the operations or department manager. Looking at the more business skill suite of apprenticeships and what we offer, we do offer the customer service practitioner at level 2, the entry level customer service apprenticeship lasting 12 months, or the level 3 customer service specialist role lasting 15 months. We will be offering the sales executive role, which is perhaps a progression route from the customer service standard. At 18 months, a level 4 apprenticeship will suit a role such as a sales consultant, sales specialist, advisor, business development executive, field sales executive with progression routes onto the higher level management qualifications, business admin, so an administrator, accounts technician, auditor, bookkeeper roles, 18-month apprenticeship at level 3 with that progression route again onto some higher level management qualifications such as the team leader or supervisor, that first line management apprenticeship lasting 12 months typically. So roles such as team leader, project officer, shift supervisor, progression routes onto the level 5 ops department manager, lasting a bit longer at 30 months. With roles typically being an operations manager, regional manager, divisional manager, department manager, specialist manager, again with progression routes onto the level 7 senior leader, which BPIF offer. At 24 months, you're looking at roles such as associate director, CEO, divisional head, executive director, with progression routes then potentially onto master's programs, or as a result of the level 7, you will be a chartered manager or a chartered fellow and have membership grades. So within the BPIF, we offer a wide range of apprenticeships to fit any role within that print environment. Obviously, as an employer taking on an apprentice or upskilling current staff using an apprentice, there are costs involved, not to the apprentice themselves, but to the employer. And tomorrow, as I mentioned, Max Walkington will be looking at funding and how to utilise, whether it's a levy or non-levy employer, how to utilise that funding to really get the most out of apprenticeships for your business. So we hope that if you are interested in how funding works, you can join us then. Just a few things now before we talk to some of our amazing apprentices on why BPIF training. So we often seek feedback from our apprentices about what the apprenticeship has done for them and how it's benefited them in their career, their role, their life. So just a few tidbits here of what our apprentices tell us. We're told that apprentices have a clearer idea of their employment opportunities, that they have clearer goals and ambitions, that they have improved job satisfaction and have even gained promotions or pay rises. They understand business more, they develop new skills, they become more independent, and they're able to communicate better with colleagues and managers. In fact, 98% of all apprentices who complete an apprenticeship with BPIF stay in employment after completion, which is what we feel is the purpose of being an apprenticeship, moving into sustainable employment. BPIF also offer awards, offer trophies, offer grants, and we feel that it's a real benefit not only of being an apprentice, but being an apprentice in the print industry. So we hold annual awards, graduation ceremonies, industry awards. We offer the Cathy Woodward Award, which is a £1,000 award sponsored by Webmart, supporting individuals in the print, packaging, graphics industries to further their career. The Victor Watson Trophy, supported by the printing charity, and the Worshipful Company of Playing Cards, which recognises a young person of outstanding achievement every year. Excuse me. We have the Stationers Masters Bursary, so individuals who are potentially looking to progress from that level 5, from that level 7, to undertake their Masters in Management can apply to have a significant amount of their fees paid, thanks to a £6,000 bursary from the Stationers Foundation, funded again by the printing charity. Also, talking of the printing charity, we have the Rising Stars Awards, recognising the best talent in our industry. So there's grants available of up to £1,500 to help individuals really develop their workplace skills and to progress their careers. And just a note on the printing charity, obviously you can see here that they really support education, development, personal development within our industry. But as the only dedicated charity actually for people within the printing sector, they're also here to help with practical, emotional and hardship support, all of which our apprentices within our industry have access to. So as an apprentice, and certainly an apprentice with the BPIF, as well as a career, as well as the apprenticeship qualification, there's lots more that's there to be benefited from in our industry. So I have spoken for a long time now. So what I'd really like to do is for you to hear from the apprentices themselves. So I'd really like to introduce you all to some of our fantastic apprentices. So we have on with us today, we have Cody Pearson, who's currently undertaking a level 2 print apprenticeship. We have Nikki Cook, who I believe has just recently completed her ops department manager apprenticeship, as well as Victoria Ryan on the management programs, and Ben Townsend as well on the management programs. So as I say, I've spoke for a lot or a long time this morning, so I'd just like to go around each of you really, Ben, Cody, Nikki and Victoria, and I'd just like you to tell us about your apprenticeship really. So, you know, how did you get into your apprenticeship, or more so, how did you get into the industry, and kind of what's making you stay in the industry? So I'm going to go to Ben first, because he's the first one I can see on my screen. So Ben, are you happy just to talk through kind of how you got into the print industry and your apprenticeship journey?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll try and keep it brief. A bit like yourself, I can talk for ages. Yeah, I started as a young boy, 16-year-old, working for the same company now for nearly 22 years. And a little bit just fell into the industry, to be honest. It wasn't, I followed any parents or grandparents or anybody else. It just kind of fell nice. But for me as a young lad, it was all about learning, you know, just coming in and learning every day, which you can do from the people around you. Obviously, we've got some really good people at our business. So initially my learning started there, and then the opportunity just kept coming, which again is the support of the business. I then decided, I think I was probably about 19 on the press, and just got to a stage where I felt I need something to back me up in terms of a young guy who's on a press. A lot of the guys have got qualifications, the old city and guilds or something like. So I took the level, I think it was level 3 machine printing at the time, and that was just really to give me a broader knowledge of what I was already doing, if that makes sense. And it was quite surprising, the level 3, because it really does teach you a lot more just on the print. It starts to touch on finance, it starts to pick up other points of the business. And on passing that, really, I just carried on as I was then for a little while. until our MD decided that he would like to, probably before I was aware, to progress people into different roles. And the opportunity then came up to do the level 5, which is the diploma in leadership and management. Again, along with Nikki, we're doing the same course at the moment. And for me, it wasn't necessarily about the qualifications for me initially. It was having a vision and a goal of where I wanted to get to, and to understand what can this give me as an MVQ. For me, it was all about the knowledge, so the learning side of that, the development of myself personally, because I think that's a big thing that the MVQ can bring you, is an understanding of yourself, which obviously helps then to achieve the things you want to do. So yeah, for me personally, to learn the softer skills, to learn a little bit more detail about business and how it's run, certainly set me up in a good stead for what I'm doing today. And all that is not it's not just down to me. Excuse me, it's down to the support of the business, the people on the team, the cohorts like Nikki. We all work together. Been a little bit difficult through COVID, because it's obviously all gone to the Zoom calls and stuff, which I personally struggle with. I'll be honest. For me, I'm a physical learner. I like to see it in front of me and play around with it. So this was difficult, but it certainly serves a purpose. The thing I do like about the new way of doing it is it's so easy to jump on an email. It's so easy to jump on a Zoom call and get that support from your training advisor or your cohorts. Like I said, been a great help to me personally. So yeah, really, really good thing to do, whether it's for yourself to learn, whether it's for that, that diploma at the end or that qualification that you strive for. I just think MVQs can give you so much, and it's really down to the individual, the attitude you have, and what you want to take out of it, to be fair.
Great, thanks, Ben. So you're really that poster child, aren't you, for the progression through the industry?
Yeah, again, I've been so fortunate with the opportunities that I've landed on my doorstep. And we have worked hard for it, don't get me wrong, but without that support from my MD and my business, it's not always achievable. But yeah, for sure, the partner keeps saying it's like I've been groomed. I shouldn't really say that, but it is like they've seen something in me and they've pushed me down these routes. But yeah, without doing this MVQ, certainly this last one, this level 5, I think I would have sunk quite quickly in the position that I'm in. So it definitely brought me that knowledge. Hopefully qualification will follow.
Fantastic, thank you, Ben. So So Nikki, coming on to you, obviously you're doing the apprenticeship or the same apprenticeship as Ben, but has your journey to that been similar or quite different?
It's been quite similar but different, if that makes sense. So I kind of fell into the print industry as well. Left school at 16 with not many qualifications really, and that was more to do with my confidence and what I thought my abilities were or weren't. So went straight out to worked my way up in a firm of solicitors, and then just fell into the print industry, and again just worked my way up internally there as well in a finance kind of role. Then inherited HR, then inherited bits of the warehouse operation, then inherited bits of production. So you start to see all the different aspects of the business then. And after speaking to two of my colleagues who had done the ILM level 5, I thought to myself, I really want to have a go at this. I want to see, is this something I can do? And they both encouraged me, to jump on with the BPIF and take the apprenticeship. And I have to say, without sounding like a cliche, it's the best thing I ever did, because it's given me so much more confidence and belief. And, like Ben said, that the guys on the course, you can text them at any time, ask advice. We have Teams calls, talk about assignments, where we're up to, and then the support from Matt as well. Matt's been brilliant in building that confidence for me personally. But yeah, it's been a journey, and we're still on that journey. And I do believe we'll get there, Ben. We will get there. Yeah.
I am confident you will. Thanks, Nikki. And Cody, just coming to you, because you're doing more the technical route, aren't you, in terms of the printing route? So tell us about how you got into your apprenticeship. And
well, with me, I had a bit of a I was a bit of the naughty kid in school, and people was like, "Oh, you're gonna get nowhere." And I went to college and I done mechanics, and it wasn't for me. Then I went and done cooking, and it wasn't for me. Then I done public services, and I was like, "Ah, it's not for me." And then one day, one of my friends, he said, "Oh, there's a job opportunity for you if you want a job where I work now." But it was in the mailing department. So I went in, I done it, I put my head down, and my like the company owner, he noticed that in me, and he said, "Would you like to come onto the press and give it a try?" Because they were looking for someone to put onto an apprenticeship. I went in, done it. I started to really enjoy work, because before it was just putting books in a bag, putting books like in a machine to get it mailed off, and I was a bit. But now, where I'm learning onto the press, I like the feeling of you're creating something. You see it before, you see it after. You've got people from companies coming in saying, "Oh, I'm really excited about it, like trying this new thing where we do spot colors, or we'll be printing on stickers." So then I carried on with it, and at the beginning of my apprenticeship, I was getting a bit rough. It was a rough start because the online worked for me, but then I got help from Carrie, my TC, and she said, "How can we make this easier for you so you can enjoy it more?" So she started giving me a bit less work, but more frequent meetings, and that really helped for me. So from there, then I got the apprenticeship of the year, well, level 2 in skills trade. And that really boosted my confidence, and that's made me want to do level 3 and try and get that award again. So,
oh, fantastic! So you are going to be fighting for that award this year as well.
Yeah.
We hope to see you there. So just going, just sticking with you, Cody, for a second. So you went to college, you did your catering, your mechanics, etc. What makes the apprenticeship different to that sort of route? And you know, what's making this something that you're sticking with rather than not?
It's because you come in, and well, the thing what I didn't like about college is it was do this better work and do it my way. And I didn't really like that. With an apprenticeship, you have it's a lot of hands-on. Yeah, you have the written work, but it's a lot of hands-on. And I preferred that. And then you've got more support. You're in work, you're getting paid, which is a bonus, a big bonus. And I just feel like it's less stressful in college. I really do. Because yeah, I just wasn't a fan of college. That's the main point. It was learn my way. Well, that's it. Where with an apprenticeship, you have your own opinions.
A bit more flexible.
A lot more flexible, yeah.
Good. Good. Thanks, Cody. And Victoria, what about you? How did you either get into the industry or into the apprenticeship?
Well, I'm a little bit different. I worked in the office supplies industry for quite a few years, and about 6 years ago, I had the opportunity to come and work for Logo Tape. We produce printed tapes, labels, products like that. And we just had a call into the office one of the days because we're members of BOSS to ask if it was something that we were interested in sending any of our staff on. And when I saw the details, I thought, actually, this is something that I think would be good for me. What I really like about the apprenticeship versus any other kind of courses, because you're learning as you're doing, it sticks more. So, you know, I've been to university and I didn't finish, but I just didn't find that it stayed in my head. Whereas with the apprenticeship, because it's things that you're doing within your working life, it sticks with you more, and it is a lot more useful within obviously what you're doing. I finished the level 5 like Cody in 21. I was awarded Apprenticeship of the Year, and I'm going to start level 7 this year. So it's really helped me. When I started the apprenticeship, I was the sales manager, and I'm now sales director. So there's lots and lots of processes within it that have really helped me develop.
Do you think you'd have had the same opportunity to progress through the levels of education, I suppose, if you'd have stuck with university?
Not personally, no, because I feel that with the apprenticeship, because you're doing it while you're working, you're also being able to build a portfolio of your career, your knowledge, and that you're practically doing those things.
Yeah, I think that's certainly one of the one of the key advantages of that apprenticeship, and certainly learning the equivalent of a degree doing an apprenticeship, you're getting that workplace contextualization, aren't you? Rather than you've got the theory and then you've got to then go and find a job and apply it. You're doing that as you go along.
Yeah.
Which is great. And again, as Cody, you joined us in London in October for Apprentice of the Year for the level 5. So will you be looking to do the same for the level 7?
We'll try.
And Nikki and Ben, you guys are at the graduation, weren't you? No.
No,
You didn't come along. Oh, obviously, 'cause you're still progressing.
Yeah.
So did you see the press releases from the graduation? Is that something that you're keen to attend and looking forward to?
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. Matt's told us all about it.
Oh, has he?
Saw all the photographs on LinkedIn. They looked amazing.
Yeah, it was a great day and a real celebration of apprenticeships, as Victoria and Cody would say. One of the things, I'll just open it to anybody really, is one of the things that we're really looking to do over this week is get across the viable careers that are available within our industry, particularly to maybe parents, carers, or teachers who are working with young people or supporting young people through their decision-making process coming towards the end of school or college. Is there anything that you could say that would kind of promote our industry as a real viable industry for a school leaver or a young person?
Yeah, I mean, I think you're absolutely spot on. I think the awareness is probably the one thing that the print industry is missing at the moment. I don't know how we reach out to the school kids and the parents, but for me personally, with the company I work for, it's the people as well as what you're producing. So I know Cody mentioned it earlier. Every day is a new day on the press, and you're creating a new product, and it's great to see it go from concepts all the way through to shelf, really. I know I do my Mrs. Heading, walking around various shops. Oh, we've printed this. Oh, you're really playing with the products, and it's really strange. It's a bit geekish, I know, but that's just what I'm like. But it's that environment. It's the feeling of achieving and doing it collectively as a group of people. I personally believe it is the people and the teamwork that makes the dream work, if you like. But it's a great environment. There's lots of different revenues you can go down. You can start in one position, and before you know it, you look back 5 years, it's like, wow, I didn't know you used to do that. And there's lots of doors that can open for development.
Yeah, and I think with all the technological advances, I think it's just such an exciting period to be in print, and what the next years will bring with all the technological advances that are coming up. I suppose if you've been there in the industry for a long time, you 22 years, certainly in Ben's case, you'd have seen that, would you? Would you have seen technology move on and move forward? And
100%, yeah. And again, we like to reinvest, and a lot of the new equipment that's coming in, we're not using potatoes anymore to print. It really has come a long way. Every department's got its own investments coming in. We're looking into different stuff, different development techniques and products that we can use. It's one of our biggest drives, trying to be innovative. And it's not easy, but we try every week to find something new. But there's a lot of changes, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more to come.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And sorry, I've just looked away because I've just seen a comment pop up from Sarah. She's just said here, if every print company could work closely with at least one school to start to make students aware of the print industry, it would be a great start to get young people in the know about the real careers in print. And maybe after apprenticeship week, obviously I'm back on Friday to do a bit of a wrap up. Maybe I'll make that as a bit of a call to action for the industry to come together to really promote prints in local schools, which would be fantastic. So thanks for that comment, Sarah. Sorry, go on.
I say that is exactly something we're looking into, Carl, at the moment.
Yeah.
I personally have been working for the last 2 years. COVID's been difficult with that, but with the local college at Halifax, and we've just done a SEND student programme. So we've now got a SEND student on site who's now working. He's gone through all the process. He's now working full part-time for us.
Oh, fantastic.
But I think it's back to opportunities, isn't it? And having the opportunity to go into schools and show the kids what print's about, because it's like as a kid you all want to be footballers or astronauts.
Indeed.
But why not be a printer, a designer? There's lots of different jobs in the industry, isn't there?
Oh, without a doubt. So maybe, Ben, that could be a real good model that other printers can capitalise on, just that relationship, bringing in a work experience part-time. So yeah, definitely I'm making notes here of all the things that we're going to do as a result of certainly today's session. But I am just conscious of time, so I just want to, I'm going to put everyone on the spot now, if you don't mind, and I'll start with you, Victoria, if that's okay. I'm just really keen to understand from before the apprenticeship to either at what point you are now, or for some of you having completed the apprenticeship, what do you do better or differently, or what's one of the key things that you've learned on the apprenticeship, whether it's either theory, whether it's about the industry, but just a key piece of learning that you will take with you as a result of the apprenticeship programme?
I think one of the major things is confidence, because some of the techniques, whether it's financial techniques or planning, you know them, but you don't necessarily know all the elements of it. Whereas by doing the apprentice, I've learned that actually I did know what I was doing, or make these tweaks and it's so much better. And then when you put these forward to your managers, you're so much more confident in doing that than you were before.
Fantastic, thank you. What about you, Nikki?
I would say personally for me, I mean, Victoria's point was spot on there, but more a confidence thing in speaking out more, taking part in group discussions more, because I would always be the one that would sit there quiet and just listen to everybody else. So definitely that's a big thing for me, that I've learned from all of this, to be honest. Yeah.
And that's real. It's almost music to my ears, because the apprenticeship or an apprenticeship is definitely about learning skills, learning a trade, learning or gaining a qualification. But them softer skills, the motivation, the confidence, what we'd almost call employability skills as well. They make you employable, they're transferable, they make you a great candidate for any role. They make you better at putting yourself forward for new initiatives or promotions or things such as that. And we can't forget that that's such a key part of the apprenticeship as well. So really, really good points.
People mad now, challenging them all the time. I'm like, why? I think they think you should just shut up now.
but do you think your employers benefited as well then from your newfound confidence and your ability to challenge or to ask questions?
Yeah, because the two guys had already done the course and I was the quiet one. It's given a stronger sort of team to run the site day to day. So we've all got our skill sets in our areas, one's production, one's quality, one's finance, but to have 3 strong candidates then that are all confident in what they're doing does make a big difference.
Fantastic. Thanks, Nikki. And Ben, what about you? What would be your key takeaway?
Again, same as Victoria and very much Nikki. Nikki's comments there about the team, like I said before, it's having that level of team members, if you like, who are all thinking on the same lines. But yeah, the personal development for me is huge. Again, we learn every day on the job and with the work we do, but I think sometimes to stop and actually learn about yourself and find out who you are is huge in anybody's life, on whatever walk of life you want to take. So for me, the personal software development's absolutely 100%.
Brilliant, thanks, Ben. And then finally, Cody, what about yourself?
I would say what I've taken away is the understanding the actual whole industry itself. So like I was talking to a guy who works here, and he was saying about he knows people who work abroad, and all that, and it's all those different opportunities, different career paths that you can take, and it kind of gives you a more of a boost in life instead of being, oh, I'm just going to work at McDonald's or something like that. It's more rewarding, and that's what I feel out of it. I'm going down a path that's very rewarding.
And I suppose as well, we talk about the print industry having an aging workforce, and I think it's something that is widely recognised. But I suppose, Cody, in your role, are you benefiting from the printers that are coming maybe to the end of their career, and the years and years and years and years of knowledge that they're and mentorship, I suppose, that they're imposing on you?
Definitely. Like, two of my guys that I work with now are in their 50s. Coming into 60s, so one of them's worked on a print press for 37 years, so he's quite good to talk about how it's changed, and how his experience with print is. How he says now it's so much more technical and difficult. He used to work on a 2-color, and now we're running on a 5-color, and it's just good to hear their stories and their career paths and how they got into the industry as well.
Yeah, I bet they have got some stories. And it's one of them things. I've only been in the industry for about 4 years now, but I can't remember who said it to me, but when I started in this industry, they said you never get out of it. You know, once you're in, you're in. So it's that career for life. Well, Nikki, Ben, Cody and Victoria, thank you ever so much for taking part in that session. I found it really, really enjoyable, and I'm sure I've seen some comments that have come up on the chat that other people have as well. So thank you ever so much, and we look forward to seeing you either at the graduation or award ceremonies in the coming years. So I will end the panel discussion there. And I just want to take the opportunity to thank everybody for their attendance today. And I really hope you've gained an insight into the printing industry, and even maybe learned something that you don't necessarily know. And just to close, if you are looking at a career in print, or looking at your career options, and we've ignited that interest in print, which we hopefully have, then on the screen now, we will share this after the session, we do have plenty of vacancies within our industry, which is nationwide. So we've got vacancies up in Newcastle, down in Cornwall. So wherever you're tuning in from, if you think that an apprenticeship in the print industry is for you, please check out our vacancies on our website. Or if you have friends with young children who are coming up to leaving school or college, maybe share some of these vacancies there, and hopefully get people passionate about print. Just finally, not to forget that we do have sessions going on all week. Tomorrow, same time, 10 o'clock, it's all about apprenticeship funding. So maybe a webinar more focused at maybe employers, before moving into other webinars relevant for all towards the end of the week. And I do hope to see a lot of you on Friday as well, where we'll be wrapping up and talking about plans for the next 12 months within BPIF training. So thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoy the rest of National Apprenticeship Week, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Thank you and goodbye.